The mysterious woman named Yi is actually the chief barbarian master of the Barbarian Royal Hall, and she introduced the grandchildren of the head of the Shatro tribe, claiming that she was there to rescue them. Witnessing that Zhang and his subordinates had the horses with the seal of the Lai family, she made a wrong guess of thinking that they were intercepting them. She immediately used up the curse magic of Rising Corpse on her poisoned barbarian soldiers, but it was no use since Liang Cheng was an ex-ancient Jiangshi, and with his roar broke through the ability of a Yi as she was attacked by her own barbarians. She immediately grabbed the children as she moved swiftly from the attack made by Zhu San with the help of her magical ropes that left green light residues in midair. The blowing aura of that robe was something else, but Zhu San wasn't ready to let her get away from his grasp as he was focused on her. The children in her hands were screaming in fear as they were scared, and she rushed into Zheng, who was standing there with his sword, trying to act fearless in front of his subordinates. The act of pretending to be someone else was getting heavier on him, knowing that something bad was about to happen, and surprisingly, Yi threw the girl child from her grasp in front of Zheng in order to save herself. Yi ends up getting the upper hand in the fight as she now holds the sword of Zheng to his throat, threatening to finish him off, while the girl child keeps on crying on the ground. Zheng kept on bleeding from his throat as she kept pushing it on his throat, and nobody knew what was about to happen next. With the robust power of her thick thighs, the shaman effortlessly pushed back our hero in their intense struggle. Despite the sword trembling in his grip, Zheng managed to prevent it from further endangering his neck. The shaman, on the other hand, exerted her strength with only one hand, fiercely attempting to drive the blade forward. The scene unfolded dramatically, leaving Zheng in awe of the woman's remarkable grip strength. However, the tension escalated as the shaman's converted corpses lurched back to life, charging at her once more. With no alternative, she leaped away from imminent danger, narrowly evading the zombies' attacks. Zheng, regaining his composure, realized the enemy had already seized an advantage, positioning themselves in his blind spot. In a daring move, the shaman leapt into the air, poised to descend upon our unsuspecting hero. Yet, Zhu San, swift and determined, intercepted her ascent, plunging his dagger into her shoulder mid-flight. Despite her efforts to retaliate, a swift kick from the dwarf sent her reeling, forcing her to flee the scene, fueled by anger and injury. As Zhu San prepared to pursue her relentlessly, a voice interrupted his pursuit. Zombie Liang Cheng, his animated cohorts dissipating like melting ice. Liang Cheng warned the dwarf of his expended strength, emphasizing the importance of safeguarding their master. Understanding the dire situation, Zhu San relented, acknowledging the necessity of protecting their charge. Grateful for Zhu San's timely intervention, Zheng recognized the critical role the dwarf played in disrupting the shaman's assault, allowing for the lethal strike. Despite his disappointment in not chasing her down, Zhu San remained confident in the shaman's impending demise, thanks to the poison coursing through her veins. Meanwhile, far across the desert, the shaman, drained of energy and poisoned by Zhu San's dagger, stumbled to a halt. Determined to fulfill her royal mission, she clung to her resolve, despite her weakened state. Suddenly, a group of individuals emerged from the shadows, addressing her with reverence as Master Iben. Among them, the giant figure and the caravan she had infiltrated awaited her arrival. As they inquired about the safety of the young royal, the shaman urgently relayed intelligence regarding the nearby encampment of Marquis Zhenbei's henchmen. With swift action, they could eliminate this threat and ensure the safety of their charge. The cloaked members of the caravan swiftly comprehended their orders, hastening back to their camp to inform their leader. However, one figure, Fan Lai, lingered before the wounded shaman. His gaze, shrouded by his cloak, bore into her, recognizing the familiar dagger lodged in her back. The shaman, bristling at his scrutiny, demanded to know the cause of his stare. As Fan Lai drew his massive axe, he calmly stated he was observing her. Later that night, Fan Lai rendezvoused with his comrades, offering a bottle of wine to Zheng. Upon receiving it, Zheng queried the giant about his prior knowledge of their presence, noting the recognition of the dwarf's weapon. Fan Lai confirmed his suspicions, acknowledging his role in dispatching the shaman. Zheng pondered the fortuitous reunion, realizing their potential salvation from becoming eternal enemies of the barbarians had the shaman survived. Fan Lai distributed handfuls of grass roots among his companions, while Zheng lamented his inability to harm a child, let alone confront the entire barbarian nation. Perched once more upon the giant's shoulder, Zhu San queried Fan Lai about the herb he consumed. Fan Lai explained its energizing effects, though the skeptical dwarf remained unconvinced. Meanwhile, within the envoy's office overseeing the hero's homeland, sweat trickled down his brow as he questioned his informant about the Marquis's prospects in the ongoing war. The informant expressed less concern about the Marquis's strategies than the oversight of Zhang Fan, recommended by the young miss. Enraged, the envoy decried the excessive favor bestowed upon Zhang Fan, berating the young miss for gifting him 300 horses for minimal battlefield achievements. He demanded tangible proof of Zhang's leadership capabilities before acknowledging the worthiness of such rewards. Returning to Zhang's perspective, he arrived home to an unsettling sight. The once bustling inn now stood deserted, devoid of any signs of life. Alerted by the eerie silence, Zhang and his companions cautiously entered, bewildered by the emptiness that greeted them. As they ventured further, their surprise only grew. The inn appeared abandoned, its rooms vacant and silent. Zhang struggled to comprehend the sudden vacancy, his senses on high alert for any sign of danger lurking in the shadows. An elderly man emerged from one of the smaller guest rooms, panting as he inquired about the return of the inn's master. Zhang, puzzled by the commotion, pressed the man for an explanation. With a calming gesture, the elderly man explained that Xin Yang and Blind Bei had relocated to a larger house down the street with their earnings. They had instructed him to remain at the inn in case the master returned. Meanwhile, at the gang's new abode, the remaining members gathered to discuss their future plans. Seated in the main hall, Blind Bei and Ming conversed about their recent exploits, including the destruction of rival gangs. Ming questioned Blind Bei's decision to target the Three Gods Association instead of extorting them for money, considering their lucrative business. Blind Bei, peeling an orange nonchalantly, explained their master's disinterest in religious affairs, deferring to his preferences. Xin Yang interjected, reminding them of their extraordinary abilities as demon lords from different worlds, ensuring their financial success. She paused to sip from her tiny glass of peculiar wine before eagerly turning her attention to the announcement of their master's arrival. The scene shifted to a steamy hot water bath, where Zhang luxuriated amidst a bevy of beautiful escorts, their gentle hands washing away the fatigue of battle. Meanwhile, the remaining members convened in the dining hall, sharing a meal and exchanging information. Xin Yang, slightly irritated, confessed to assigning women to prepare the bath for their master instead of attending to it herself. Ming voiced his discontent with the indulgence, arguing that they were coddling their master unnecessarily. Blind Bei, however, disagreed, advocating for allowing their master some relaxation after the strenuous battle. Zhu-san saw it as a ploy to manipulate their master into undertaking more undesirable tasks, while Zombie Liang simply found the entire conversation tiresome. In contrast, Fan Lai the Giant seemed to be enjoying himself immensely, relishing his plain bowl of rice with gusto. Blind Bei defended the idea of allowing their master some leisure time to savor the benefits of their recent endeavors before delving into more serious matters. Ming cautioned against prolonging such trivial activities, concerned that their master might not appreciate the gesture. Their debate was interrupted by the arrival of their master, fresh from his rejuvenating bath and ready to discuss their future plans in earnest. As soon as they arrive, Zhu-san begins to explain how their master fought and had an advantage against the barbarian shaman. Xin Yang thinks it is quite normal for their master to perform like a superficial being, which makes Zhang feel like he is sitting around a bunch of manipulated minions who like to talk about their master. Soon enough, Blind Bei comes holding a bunch of paperwork saying that his subordinates wanted to form a brigand outside Hutu City, asserting more power over his enemies currently. Zhang assumes that Blind Bei could predict that he was falling asleep, which is why he came in to communicate with him, since someone like him in his position should be able to hold the entire room. Portraying the image of a perfect emperor, Zhang starts to elaborate on raising their strength and areas to expand their expertise and operation, making it bigger every day. Zombie Liang claims that they will surely need to waste the 300 horses given by Hutu City, forthcoming Blind Bei to claim that the army might belong to the Yan Empire, but it is rather loyal to them currently. Zhu-san corrects Blind Bei, saying that they are actually loyal to their master, and both Fan Lai and Zhu-san are given the task to integrate their old group. Also, Xin Yang is about to train the newly recruited girls so they can determine who will be with them till the end after finishing the special training. At the same time, Liang Cheng will be training with Zhang for the time being in Yemen, and Blind Bei saying that Zhang will be able to advise Liang in combat makes Zhang feel like he is watching a melodramatic scene. As Blind Bei finishes the speech, Zhang feels like his face becoming thicker and thicker as time passes. But suddenly, Ming raises his hand saying that he surely has to do something about this. After excusing himself for not having eyesight, Blind Bei says that Ming will have to pick up some soap as it is considered rather important. Ming is about to shit himself wondering why he has to be the one to have this kind of stupid task in the first place. After training for 3 days straight, Zhang feels like he is getting better super fast, and his physical strength is increasing as he progresses. Even though he asks Liang to accompany him while bathing, he avoids the proposition saying that he doesn't like hot water much. While Zheng goes on to look for Xin Yang and leaves the place, Xin Yang comes out of nowhere with Ming while conversing about the soap business. She thinks of every possibility to make the most of their business, and suddenly, she notices that Zhang is nowhere near Liang as he is standing alone. She runs off blaming it all on Ming, saying that he is the reason why she has managed to forget that she has to massage their master. On the other hand, Ming and Liang get busy researching about what will actually help their situation. They manage to notice the soap fallen on the ground. When Liang is about to reach out to the soap on the ground, Blind Bei notices a half-sighted scene which makes him believe that they might be into each other. He announces that they will have to have a meeting at the pavilion for the night and leaves the place to leave them be. Flabbergasted, Ming and Liang say nothing, and somewhere else, Xin Yang is complaining about Liang massaging Zheng unkindly. As Zhang closes his eyes and starts sleeping, all of his servants gather together to have a meeting about their master's cultivation progress. They think that their master is too great to even comprehend, as he is able to change his life this fast after waking up a month ago like nothing even happened. They realize that they are lacking in strength because their master is still in a level 1 state, which is constantly weighing him down. Suddenly, Fan Lai proposes the idea of chopping their master, which shocks everyone else sitting around the table as if a storm has arrived.